Okay, so are you ready to dive into the wildest moments of 90 Day Fiancé?
Yeah.
Before the 90 Days Season 7,
I am so ready.
buckle up, because based on these excerpts,
Yeah.
this season is shaping up to be a real doozy.
Totally agree.
We've got an all-new cast.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, they did
Yeah.
not come to play.
It is. It's interesting right off the bat is this complete cast overhaul.
Right.
It's a bold move for the show.
Yeah.
But judging from this source material, it seems to be working.
Oh, for sure.
The drama's already at an all-time high.
Absolutely. And speaking of drama,
Yeah.
Ingrid Brian's story
Oh, my God.
is a prime example of how quickly things can go south
Right.
in the world of international romance.
You think?
Ingrid thought she knew her Harvard hotshot boyfriend after 2 years of online dating.
Yeah.
But his age, well, that turned out to be a bit of a surprise.
More than a bit of a surprise.
Right.
He initially told her he was 43, but then he accidentally revealed he's actually the same age as her dad, who's 51.
Oh, no.
And then he tries to gaslight her into thinking she misremembered. Huge red flag.
That is,
That kind of manipulation right out of the gate is concerning.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not something you just forget.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
it gets even wilder.
Okay.
Brian decides to come clean about his past as a drug dealer,
Oh, wow.
involved in a carjacking.
Really?
He even casually mentions drinking a case of beer a day with 3 grams of cocaine on the table.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
Wow.
talk about burying the lid.
Seriously, it makes you wonder about his motivation for revealing all of this now.
Yeah.
Is it genuine remorse or a calculated attempt to manipulate Ingrid with a vulnerability play?
Right.
Dropping these bombshells could be a way to shock her into overlooking his lies.
It definitely feels strategic.
For sure.
And speaking of shocking behavior,
Okay.
can we talk about Rayne and Chidi's trip to the Nigerian market?
Oh.
The infamous chicken incident, as I like to call it.
The chicken incident, where Rayne threatens to get pretty freaking violent.
I know.
When Chidi's sister Victoria tries to buy a live chicken, talk about a culture clash.
Yeah.
It's a stark contrast between Western views on pets and the reality of food sourcing in other cultures.
Yeah, I get the cultural differences, but her reaction is pretty extreme,
Yeah.
especially since she admits to eating chicken herself.
I know.
Maybe she just had a sudden deep connection with that particular chicken.
Perhaps, but it definitely highlights the challenges of navigating cultural differences in a relationship.
Yeah.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg for them.
Oh, for sure. And speaking of challenging relationships,
Okay.
Niles and Matilda are really testing the limits of patience.
Oh, yeah.
Niles travels all the way to Ghana,
Okay.
and Matilda clearly expects a proposal.
Mm-hmm.
They're even planning their wedding.
Wow.
Yet Niles doesn't actually want to get married and spends the entire trip dreading breaking the news. And when he finally confesses, he tries to blame his autism for his poor communication skills. Even the producers call him out on his blatant lies and gaslighting.
I can't believe that.
It's frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
Niles needs to own up to his actions instead of hiding behind his diagnosis.
Totally.
This is giving off major manipulative vibes.
Yeah.
Trying to make Matilda feel sorry for him instead of taking responsibility.
It's classic avoidance and deflection.
Right.
He's creating a distraction from his own dishonesty by shifting the blame.
Ugh, so annoying.
And speaking of dodging accountability,
Okay.
let's move on to Chidi and Rayne's dramatic breakup.
Oh, the beachside showdown.
Yes!
After all the drama with his sister Victoria and Rayne's constant complaining, Chidi finally decides he's had enough.
Makes sense.
He calls Rayne to the beach, hoping to have an honest conversation.
Yeah.
But things go downhill quickly.
Of course.
Instead of taking responsibility for her actions,
Yeah.
Rayne blames Victoria for the problem. Then she asks him the most ridiculous question.
What?
Are you doing this for a visa?
Oh my God.
Chidi handles the situation brilliantly,
Okay.
shutting down her accusations and making it clear that he'd never sell his soul for a visa.
Good for him.
It was a powerful moment.
Yeah.
You could feel his hurt and betrayal.
I bet.
And it's clear that the viewers felt it too, judging by the outpouring of support for Chidi online.
Yes.
Speaking of putting everything out in the open, let's talk about Via and Sunny.
Okay.
They take the idea of transparency to a whole new level.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Via flies to South Africa to meet Sunny, but she's already nervous about his jealous tendencies.
Yeah.
Her solution: bringing her ex-boyfriend Rory on the trip.
What?
Of course, without telling Sonny.
Oh my God.
What could possibly go wrong, right?
I know.
Predictably,
Yeah.
Sonny catches Via looking at selfies she took with Rory on the plane.
Oh no.
And chaos ensues.
Of course.
And instead of apologizing for, the betrayal, Via has the nerve to get mad at Sonny for being upset.
Oh, wow.
It's classic projection, trying to make him the bad guy instead of owning up to her actions.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Talk about a recipe for disaster.
Ah.
This relationship is clearly built on a foundation of sand. And trust is definitely not part of the mix.
No kidding. It raises a lot of questions about honesty and boundaries in a relationship.
Right.
How much transparency is really necessary, and when does secrecy become harmful?
Great point. And speaking of secrets and harmful behavior,
Okay.
buckle up. Because Lauren and Faith's storyline is about to take a very uncomfortable turn. The gonorrhea confession is a moment that will stay with viewers for a while.
Oh, yeah. Definitely memorable. Lauren spends an entire day with Faith, almost kissing her at one point, before casually dropping the bomb that he has gonorrhea, which he contracted while cheating on her, of course.
Of course.
And to make matters worse, he also reveals that he's homeless and juggling 3 jobs back in the U.S. It's an incredibly bizarre combination of revelations.
Oh, I know.
He's almost competing for the most problematic boyfriend award this season.
Oh, right. Like his entire attitude is flippant laughing while describing his symptoms.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful and incredibly irresponsible.
Really? And let's not forget that he never even told Faith they weren't exclusive.
Oh, right.
He claims he implied it by mentioning he was sleeping with other people.
What?
But that's a weak excuse for his blatant dishonesty.
I know. It's amazing how some people can justify their terrible behavior.
It's a pattern we see often on this show.
Yeah.
A lack of accountability and a constant shifting of blame.
Oh.
And speaking of problematic behavior,
Okay.
Adnan and Tiger Lily are proving that controlling behavior can be just as damaging as infidelity.
Totally. Adnan's death threat during their argument about social media is a chilling example of emotional manipulation.
Oh my God.
I mean, who says I would kill you, baby, in a casual conversation?
It's clearly a way to control Tiger Lily's behavior through fear and intimidation. And the context makes it even more disturbing. They're arguing because Adnan posted a post-shower selfie on Instagram.
Okay.
But Tiger Lily isn't allowed to wear even slightly revealing clothes.
Oh, my God.
It highlights the double standard and power imbalance in their relationship.
Right.
Adnan feels entitled to flaunt his body online while Tiger Lily is expected to follow his strict rules.
It raises questions about what other controlling behaviors Adnan might be exhibiting behind closed doors.
For sure.
It's a stark reminder that emotional abuse can be just as damaging as physical violence.
Absolutely. This season is definitely a wild ride so far.
I know.
It's living up to its reputation for drama, dysfunction, and some truly questionable choices.
For sure.
But what's fascinating is how these couples' stories, while outrageous, also touch on universal themes of relationships, trust, and cultural differences.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that even the most outlandish situations can offer valuable insights into human behavior. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive, exploring the tangled webs of deception, the explosive clashes of cultures, and the unsettling dynamics of control and manipulation.
Totally. Welcome back to our deep dive into 90 Day Fiancé. Before the 90 Days, Season 7.
So far, we've seen shocking revelations, explosive arguments, and some truly head-scratching decisions.
Totally.
Now, let's try to understand the motivations behind all the drama.
Okay.
What's fascinating is that many of these couples seem to have completely different expectations about relationships.
Yeah, right? Like, take Lauren and Faith, for example.
Yeah.
Lauren's whole implied open relationship excuse is a giant red flag. He wants the benefits of a commitment without the responsibility.
Total.
Exactly. And Faith clearly believes they're exclusive.
Right.
This fundamental mismatch in expectations is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
It makes you question Lauren's intentions. Is he just a bad communicator, or is there something more manipulative going on?
It's hard to say for sure. Yeah. But it definitely raises concerns.
Yeah.
And speaking of concerning behavior,
Okay.
let's revisit Adnan's death threat to Tiger Lily.
Oh, God.
It's a chilling example of how quickly controlling behavior can escalate.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Adnan's jealousy and possessiveness are clearly driving his actions.
Right.
It's not just the words themselves, it's the context.
Right.
He threatens her simply because she asked a hypothetical question about posting a picture online.
Oh my God, that's awful.
It's a complete disregard for Tiger Lily's autonomy and boundaries.
Yeah.
He's trying to control her every move, both online and offline.
Totally. This type of controlling behavior often escalates over time.
Right.
If he's already resorting to threats, it's a worrying sign of what might come next.
Absolutely. It's a stark reminder of the importance of recognizing the signs of emotional abuse early on. If your partner constantly tries to control your actions, isolate you from friends and family,
Right.
or belittle your thoughts and feelings, those are serious red flags.
For sure, remember, you deserve to be treated with respect and dignity in any relationship.
Yeah.
If you're feeling unsafe or controlled, don't hesitate to reach out for help.
Yeah.
There are resources available, like hotlines and support groups that can offer guidance and support.
Okay, we've discussed Lauren and Adnan.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about Niles.
Oh, Niles.
His attempt to blame his autism for his lies is truly disappointing.
Oh, so frustrating.
It's a blatant attempt to avoid accountability.
Right.
He's using his diagnosis as a shield to deflect criticism.
And it's incredibly insulting to the autistic community.
Yeah.
It perpetuates harmful stereotypes about their ability to communicate and form meaningful relationships.
It's crucial to remember that autism is a spectrum.
Yeah.
While some individuals may struggle with social interactions, it doesn't excuse dishonesty or manipulative behavior.
Right.
Niles' actions undermine the trust and credibility that many autistic individuals have worked hard to build.
I know, it's so unfair.
It's exactly. We need to be critical of the narratives presented on reality TV and avoid making generalizations based on the actions of a few individuals.
Totally. It's important to recognize that everyone, regardless of their neurodiversity, deserves to be treated with empathy and respect.
So amidst all the chaos and drama, are there any glimmers of hope in these couple stories?
Well, Chidi standing up to Rayne's accusations was a definite highlight.
Yeah.
His refusal to be labeled a visa seeker resonated with a lot of viewers.
It was refreshing to see someone stand up for themselves and refuse to be manipulated.
Yeah.
Chidi recognized that Rayne's assumptions about him were unfounded and refused to let her negativity define him.
Right. It's a valuable lesson for everyone.
Yeah.
Don't let other people's perceptions dictate your self-worth. You have the power to define who you are.
And sometimes walking away from a toxic relationship, even if it's painful,
Yeah.
is the most empowering choice you can make.
For sure. Speaking of tough choices.
Okay.
Do you think there's any hope for Ingrid and Brian's relationship after all the bombshells he dropped?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
On the one hand, Brian's openness about his past could be seen as a sign of growth and a desire to build trust.
Right.
But on the other hand, his timing is suspicious. It feels like he's trying to preemptively excuse future bad behavior by saying, look, I've already been through so much, you have to understand.
It's a classic manipulation tactic.
Oh.
By presenting himself as a wounded soul, he's hoping to evoke sympathy and avoid accountability.
It's a tricky situation. Only time will tell if Brian is genuinely committed to changing or if he's just using his past as a crutch.
Totally. That's what keeps us coming back to this show, right?
Yeah.
It keeps us guessing, analyzing, and debating the complexities of relationships.
It's like a giant social experiment unfolding before our eyes.
Yeah.
And even though the drama can be over the top, it reflects the very real challenges and triumphs we all face in our own relationships.
Absolutely. Okay, we've dissected the drama,
Yeah.
analyzed the motivations, and explored the potential consequences. But there's one big question looming.
What's the bigger picture? What can we learn from these messy, chaotic, and often cringeworthy relationships?
That's exactly what we'll tackle in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll connect the dots, draw some conclusions, and leave you with some thought-provoking questions to ponder.
So stay tuned for the grand finale of our 90-Day Fiancé. Before the 90 Days Season 7 extravaganza. All right, so we've analyzed all the drama and dissected the questionable decisions from 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 Days Season 7. But now it's time to zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
Okay.
What can we learn from this season's roller coaster of relationships?
What's fascinating is how these couples, while entertaining, reflect broader societal anxieties and trends.
Okay.
For instance, Ingrid and Brian's story highlights the growing distrust of online communication and the potential for catfishing.
It really makes you think, in this age of social media and virtual connections, how can we be sure we're truly getting to know someone?
Right.
It's easy to get swept up in the fantasy and miss those crucial red flags.
Exactly. We're constantly bombarded with curated images and filtered versions of reality.
Right.
But these stories also highlight the importance of recognizing those red flags, particularly when it comes to controlling behavior.
Okay.
Adnan's possessiveness and threats towards Tiger Lily are a stark reminder that emotional abuse can be just as damaging as physical violence.
Absolutely. And it's crucial to remember that healthy relationships are built on trust, respect, and open communication.
Right.
If a partner is constantly trying to control you, isolate you from loved ones, or belittle your feelings, those are serious warning signs.
And abuse isn't always overt.
Right.
Loren's gaslighting and manipulation of Faith, while not physically violent, is still incredibly damaging and toxic.
Yeah.
It's about power and control, which can manifest in subtle ways that are easy to miss.
So what are the key takeaways for our listeners? What can we learn from these cautionary tales?
I think the most important lesson is to prioritize self-awareness and self-respect in any relationship.
Okay.
Know your worth, set boundaries, and don't be afraid to walk away from situations that feel unsafe or unhealthy.
It's also vital to be aware of the potential pitfalls of online dating.
Yeah.
Approach virtual connections with a healthy dose of skepticism.
For sure.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, verify information, and take your time getting to know someone.
Absolutely. And if you see red flags, trust your gut instinct. Remember, you deserve to be treated with respect and dignity.
Before we wrap up, I have to ask, what was your most jaw-dropping moment from this season?
For me, it was Rayne's chicken incident at the Nigerian market.
Oh my God, yes.
Such a bizarre and unexpected outburst.
I know.
It perfectly captured the culture clash that can happen in intercultural relationships.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It was a scene that'll stick with me.
For sure.
It made me wonder, what are the real deal breakers in a relationship? Is it a difference in values? A lack of communication? A fundamental incompatibility in how we view the world?
Those are excellent questions. I think the answer varies for everyone.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it comes down to finding someone who shares your core values, respects your boundaries, and supports your growth as an individual.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave our listeners with this final thought.
Okay.
As you navigate the complexities of your own relationships, remember to prioritize self-awareness, communication, and mutual respect.
Right.
And if you ever find yourself questioning your worth or feeling unsafe, don't hesitate to reach out for help.
For sure.
You are not alone.
And remember, sometimes the most valuable lessons come from the messiest, most chaotic situations.
Yeah.
Even a show like 90 Day Fiancé can offer insights into human behavior and help us navigate the ups and downs of love and relationships.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the fascinating world around us.